They are sitting in silent, dust-covered graveyards of chrome and leather, machines that once signaled the absolute peak of human achievement and social status. 10 years ago, you would have needed a mortgage or a lottery win to park one of these in your driveway. Yet today, the keys are being traded for the price of a used mountain bike or a basic laptop. We are talking about a catastrophic collapse in value that has turned hundreds of engineering marvels into metal paperweights that nobody wants to touch. The speed of this financial suicide is breathtaking. And while you might think you are getting the bargain of the century, there is a dark, expensive reason why these icons are rotting in the back of cheap car lots. Before we peel back the hood on these financial disasters, if you want to keep discovering the hidden truth behind these market crashes, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you never miss a deep dive into the world of luxury. The first name that should send a shiver down your spine is the BMW 7 Series, specifically the E65 generation. When this car debuted, it was the spaceship of the elite, featuring the revolutionary iDrive system and a silhouette that screamed power. It cost nearly $90,000. Yet today, you can find them listed for $3,000 or less. That is a 97% drop in value. Why? Because the electronics in this car were designed with a level of complexity that even modern mechanics struggle to decode. When the integrated communication module fails, the car essentially lobotomizes itself. You are left with a beautiful, leather-lined lounge that won't start, won't lock, and won't tell you what is wrong. The cost of fixing a single sensor often exceeds the entire market value of the vehicle, turning a symbol of German excellence into a driveway ornament that costs more to tow than it does to buy. But the 7th Series is a safe bet compared to the absolute carnage found in the world of British luxury, specifically the early 2000s Range Rover Vogue. These were the ultimate status symbols, driven by celebrities and royalty alike, featuring buttery Windsor leather and a commanding presence that made every other SUV look like a toy. Brand new, you were looking at a sticker price deep into the six figures. Today, you can find them for the price of a high-end refrigerator. The air suspension is a ticking time bomb that will inevitably collapse, leaving the car sitting on its bump stops like a wounded animal. If this is starting to change the way you see luxury vehicles, subscribe to the channel right now. The tragedy of the Range Rover is that while the purchase price has plummeted, the cost of the parts has stayed exactly where it was in 2005. A single air strut can cost $1,500. And these cars are foreign. When you realize that the transmission is also prone to sudden, catastrophic failure, you begin to understand why these beautiful machines are being sold for pocket change. People buy them for $5,000 thinking they look like a millionaire, only to realize within a month that they need $10,000 in repairs just to keep the oil inside the engine. It is a psychological trap that preys on the desire for status, offering a throne of gold that is actually made of melting wax. Then we have the Jaguar XJ, a car that defines elegance and grace. In the mid-2000s, this was the choice of CEOs who wanted something more soulful than a Mercedes. It was a masterpiece of aluminum construction and wood veneer. Today, you can pick one up for about $4,000, which is less than the sales tax on the original purchase price. The problem here is the sheer fragility of the cooling systems and the specialized labor required to work on an all-aluminum chassis once the plastic cooling pipes crack, which they always do. The engine overheats and warps instantly. Because it is a Jaguar, every part is proprietary and priced at a premium. You are essentially buying a high-maintenance pet that requires a specialized diet and a private doctor, all while it lives in a body that was meant for a museum. Even the mighty Mercedes-Benz is not immune to this rot, particularly the S-Class. From the early 2000s, the S500 was the gold standard for global luxury, featuring double-pane glass and self-closing doors. It was a fortress on wheels. Now, they are the kings of the scrap heap. The active body control system, a hydraulic marvel that made the car corner flat, is the ultimate budget killer. A single leak in the pressurized lines can spray flammable hydraulic fluid onto a hot engine, or simply cause the car to sag to one side permanently. Finding a Mercedes S-Class for $2,000 is easy, but finding one that doesn't have a dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree is nearly impossible. The sheer density of the wiring harnesses means that a single hungry rodent or a bit of moisture can turn the entire car into a brick. We cannot talk about value loss without mentioning the Maserati. This is perhaps the most seductive trap in the entire automotive world. It features a Ferrari V8 engine that sounds like a symphony and a Pininfarina design that is timeless. When it was new, it was a $100,000 masterpiece. Today, you can find them for $12,000, which sounds like a lot compared to a bike, but consider the maintenance. The Duo Select transmission is a clunky, semi-automatic nightmare that eats clutches every 15,000 miles. Replacing that clutch costs more than a brand new economy car. You are buying a Ferrari engine wrapped in a sedan body, and you are paying Ferrari prices for every spark plug and oil change. It is the ultimate poor man's supercar that quickly makes the owner even poorer. The irony is that these cars are becoming cheaper than basic transportation because they have lost the one thing that made them valuable: reliability and social standing. Once a luxury car becomes old enough that anyone can buy it, the elite move on to the next thing, and the car loses its aura. What is left is a complex aging machine that requires a specialized skill set to maintain. When a tire for a Bentley Continental GT costs more than a used Honda Civic, the market for that Bentley disappears. These cars are the ultimate proof that price and cost are two very different things. You can buy the dream for $5,000, but you will live the nightmare at $100 an hour in labor costs. The cycle continues with cars like the Audi A8, which featured the incredible W12 engine. It was a technical tour de force, but today it is a mechanic's worst fear. To do almost any significant work on the engine, the entire front of the car and the engine itself must be removed. This creates a situation where a simple oil leak can result in a $4,000 labor bill. The car becomes totaled by the market, not because of a crash, but because of a maintenance schedule. It is a heartbreaking end for machines that were once the pride of their manufacturers. They represent a peak of ambition that was not sustainable for the second or third owner. Ultimately, these luxury bargains are a warning. They tell us that complexity is the enemy of longevity. The very features that made these cars worth $100,000 when they were new are the exact features that make them worthless today. When you see a high-end luxury car for the price of a bicycle, remember that you aren't just buying a car, you are adopting a massive financial liability that has been discarded by someone who could actually afford to fix it. The true cost of a cheap luxury car is always hidden until you sign the title, and by then, the depreciation has already claimed its next victim. If you ever find yourself tempted by a bargain-priced V12 or a dirt-cheap air suspension system, just remember that there is no such thing as a cheap, expensive car. The market has priced them this low for a reason, and that reason is usually sitting in a pool of oil on a garage floor. Stay smart, stay informed, and always look past the badge to the reality of the mechanics underneath.